Well, good evening. How are we out there in Korgis land? I see there's a few people joined us already. Elaine, Ingo, there was someone else, wasn't there? Oh yeah, Gavin. Thank you very much for joining us. It's another rip-roaring edition of the live stream. I hope you enjoy it. We are going to be tonight featuring the song Don't Look Back. This was an enormous hit in Brazil and still gets played all the time, which is marvelous. We love that. And in fact, we'd like to go on tour there at some point. But meanwhile, we are going to spin the record. So here we go. See what you think of the new version.
Down on luck, I can hardly say I'm down on luck. I've monopolized your life too long. I know that certainly something's gone wrong. Times are tough, I can hardly say that times are tough, but all around us friends are so
Ah, lovely there. Nice little round of applause. I do pre-program that, you know. I don't actually have a host of people here sitting applauding me. Thank you so much for joining us. Collie D, thank you for joining us. Lovely to for you to join us again. And everyone else that's managed to be on here. As always, please subscribe wherever you can if you haven't already. I'm sure everyone on here. Oh, Mauro from Brazil is with us. The reason that we did Don't Look Back is because of Mauro. It's because he basically has been pestering us for years. Play Don't Look Back live. Play it. Record a new version of it. Do it in the studio. So it's his insistence, and because also it is a great song. It's been one of my Korgis' favourites forever. I think it's a classic song. It was originally produced by Trevor Horn way back when it was on the third album, Sticky George. But we, of course, have done a new version. But we are going to play you the Trevor Horn version a little bit back, coupled with some fascinating images from Brazil. There we are, which is where Mauro's from. So there, what was good? Yeah, subscribe. Please do ask us any questions you want, and we hopefully will answer them. I'm by myself here today. I haven't got James with me, haven't got John with me, although I'm going to do a Zoom interview with John for next week's show, because next week's show we are going to feature the new version of This World's for Everyone. So that'll be good, and that is it's a good version as well. So it'll be something to look forward to. Oh, I got his here. Save to Spotify playlist. If you're a Spotify person and you have playlists, please save some of the new songs to your Spotify playlist, because that gets them out there, because someone might see your playlist and they might save it to theirs, and all of a sudden we'll be really rich. That'll be good. And we'll share it all with you. Whenever you come to a gig, we'll buy you all drinks. Honest, we will. Well, James will anyway. So Don't Look Back will, of course, be on the Japanese release of Kool Hits, and more from that in a little bit. We've got some images and stuff. You can see how all of that is going on. And anyone that has been following us on Twitter will have seen that all of a sudden the Twitter feed's gone bananas. It's all Japanese people, because they've announced the release of Moe Hero's single. And also, I think they've announced the release of this album there. So it's all gone bananas, which is great. That's fantastic. We like that very much. So I think we're going to get straight on to the competition question. As always, I tried to make it relevant to something to do with the song. And so this is relevant, something to do with the song. Oh, I should tell you what the prize is, though, shouldn't I? The prize this week... I think last week we did a double A side, of which I'm ashamed to say I haven't sent them out, but I'm going to send them out tomorrow morning, along with whoever wins this prize today, assuming someone does. The last week's was the two versions of Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime, the Japanese version along with the new version here on Kool Hits. This week, I think we're going to do you a CD of the 3 tracks that were not released on any album, and they are the first two. The first song that James and I wrote together, which was Happy Man, and it was when he was doing Innocent Bystander, and we were writing a couple of songs together, and then eventually the Korgis, sort of the reforming of the Korgis, came out of that. So the first song that we wrote was a song called Happy Man. We intentionally wrote it to for adverts, something like that. You know, it's like Happy Man. You know, it's a very happy thing. So if you're driving a really expensive car, you'd be a very happy man. So there was that. Then the other song that hasn't been released, was Gavin Clifton's co-write with James, Fast and Loose. So that's going to be on the CD. And then the other one that hasn't been on any CD anywhere is Always a Sunny Day, the collab with Joe Matera from Australia. So those 3 are going to be on there. But as an extra bonus, and this is something that I don't think anyone else has heard, the second song that James and I wrote from those sessions was a country song, and it was called Long Way Down. It was called A Long Way Down, and so that hasn't been heard by anyone. So you, on this CD, you will have that version, and it's really good. It's a really good song. We've kind of pitched it to a load of people, but we never put it anywhere. We never thought it belonged on a Korgis album. It didn't even belong on this Collections album, really. So that's still kind of sitting there in the ether. I was thinking about what on earth to do with it. Maybe we'll do a country album, shall we? We'll do a country album. I could write a country album, I reckon. So there we are. So that's what the prize is going to be. And I think we should tell you what the question is going to be. So it is related to this song. I'm going to try and I'll put this up on screen, but I'll try and make it bigger. Can I do it like that? I can. That's good. And this is the old, you see there, that's the old single cover from the original Don't Look Back, that pink one. And it's the question is, what was the name, oh, sorry, I spelled it wrong. What was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? What was the name of the Brazilian soap? It's a soap opera. Yeah, in Brazil. That featured Don't Look Back. And it's the reason it's still played on all the stations all over Brazil now. Is because it was on this soap, which you guys are going to name. And in fact, last night, I couldn't remember what it was called. I had to ask the rest of the band what it was, and somebody came up with it. So it's that obscure. It's that obscure. But hopefully you'll be able to find it. So what was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? It's coming off screen now. So we hope there's going to be a lucky winner. This is the one where the first person off the starting blocks is probably the person that's going to get it. So yeah, that's very cool indeed. Probably a lot of you know that I was in Liberia a couple of times earlier this year, and then I was in Liberia at the tail end of last year as well with Hegsy, my mate Hegsy, who I do quite a lot of writing with, and he is back out there now. He's back out there. He's out there for about 6 weeks this time. Can't seem to get enough of the place, and I don't blame him. It is really addictive, and the people are really lovely. But anyway, while he was out there, they sent me this little film, and this was for me, so I was dead chuffed with this. So have a listen to this. So that actually said Happy Independence Day from Liberia. I just said, hi, Al. Happy Independence Day from Liberia. We love you, and I love them too. I'm going to play that one more time so you get it. Sorry, it's a bit jerky. It's maybe the file size is a little bit large. There we are. Here we go. And I know all those guys. I know all of them. And what a lovely bunch. And they were the people that have been singing on some of the new Korgis stuff. You will hear them next week on This World's for Everyone. They do the chorus on that. And when we eventually come to release a new album, there will most likely be a song on there called Going Back to Liberia, where they sing an alternative chorus to the one that we sing, which is quite interesting, but a lot of fun. So we'll play that in due course. It's nowhere near even being begun. It's their ideas, but while I was out there, I decided to record the chorus because I knew we would need that at least. So yeah, that's good. So that news from Liberia, that was amazing to come through. Of course, it isn't American Independence Day, it's Liberian Independence Day, which is why it's like, a month and a half after the American one. So there we are. I think I'm gonna grab up now all the stuff that we've been doing on Sonar. So when we were working through Don't Look Back, and we started this quite a bit before even this album came about, we started recording Don't Look Back because it was designed for a Brazilian release, and we are theoretically maybe collaborating with a Brazilian artist. It's been a little slow going, let me say. So that's why we actually finished off this version ourselves, the Korgis only version of it. But we do intend, Mauro knows all about this, we do intend to release it in dual language just for Brazil, for the Brazilian market. So it'll be Portuguese and English. And looking forward to doing that version, and hope it takes Brazil by storm, because we really want to, Mara, we want to go out and gig there. We want to do some gigs. I've previously done a gig in Sao Paulo. I did a New Year's Eve there with a version of the Supremes from America, and that was a blast. I drank so many caipirinhas. I think I had a sore head for about a week after I got back. But brilliant place, and we would love to go out there and do some dates. So yeah. That's all good, isn't it? So I'm going to grab up Sonar here. I'm going to just find it first, and then I'm going to stick it up on screen, and I'll chat over it. I'll try and keep an eye on the volumes just to check that you can hear what's going on here, and that'll be good. As with all Korgis things, I'm going to try and make the screen bigger so that you can see the whole thing. In fact, I'm gonna do this so you get the picture of what's going on. So everything there at the top, that's all backing vocals. So these ones here at the beginning, they're all grayed out because we decided not to use them early on. We decided to save some of it for later. Yeah, I'm gonna pick some of these. We've got Born to Win. We've got John's done a block. And James has done a block. I haven't done a block here. I felt it would be overkill, but you get stuff like this.
I love you. Don't look back. Burn the past.
Burn the past, that line is. I never knew that.
People change. Don't grow old.
Yeah, and that works. If I stick the lead vocals in there, you will get the idea of that. This might take a little bit of work because there's quite a lot of them lying around here. See if I can get them all. I think this will make more sense.
Don't look back. Walk away. Burn the past. Live today. People change. Who cares why? Don't grow old. Never die.
Yeah, I love that line. People change. Who cares why? You would think that it would definitely be people change. Who knows why? But I just love that. Who cares why? I guess this guy is a little bit self-centered. The guy that wrote the song, not James, of course. He was obviously writing as some alter ego. So what else have we got here? We've got lovely Paul Smith on drums. I'm just going to you hear a little bit of him in context with what we're doing there. Maybe I'm going to grab the end of the song here as we'll get a little bit more flamboyant playing.
Don't look back. Walk away. Burn the past. Live today. People change. Who cares why? Don't grow old. Never die. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back.
Bit of guitar stuff from me at the end. And there we go, that fades out there. There's a couple of little kind of oddities here. There's a few things that we perhaps tried out that we never got to use in the end. So I'm just going to see what these sound like. I'm going to leave it in context so you could hear. Or maybe no, I'm going to play it by itself first. And we'll see what this one is called James Bond. I don't think we ever used this guitar, but this is what it sounds like. Oh yeah, I remember. So I'm going to play that in context just so you get where that would have come in if we decided to use it. Or maybe it makes more sense on a verse. That's a solo section. Have a little listen to this.
Know you'll be alright. Don't you worry, 'cause I know you'll be alright. There's one thing you must believe. I love you. Here alone.
I like that little bit. Interesting though, there we were up on the solo. This is our good friend Richard Mainwaring, who contributed an electric violin solo for this, and he gave us a load of different takes and different versions of it. This is the one kind of we ended up using. So again, I'll leave it in context a little bit so you can hear what it's like. So lovely how that splits into thirds there at the end. And I don't know if anyone spotted, it was my idea to do a little disco bit in the middle where it really goes into quite like that little bit. I'm going to play it to you without the solos on so you get the idea. Disco. So yeah, that was that. That was all lovely, wasn't it? Of course, we have blocks of real strings on here, loads of them. So they do some quite interesting things. You'll hear them and you go, God, they play fast, don't they? Oh, also featured on that solo was Claudine Liddington, Claudine Cassidy on cello. We have that very Beatles kind of thing. It was actually part of a whole string section, but we just soloed her out of it because we quite like that with the new electric violin solo. So here's kind of end choruses featuring strings, really. Maybe by himself. We chopped that bit out. Etc. etc. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I reckon that's about it. I mean, there's probably other bits of interest lying around there somewhere, but I think I'll bring you back to me now. There we are. So that was our little tour around Sonar and how that was made up. If anyone wants to know any individual bits or anything like that, it's all kind of, reasonably interesting, and all put together over quite a period of time. So, obviously James wrote the original song, so I then took that as the basis for what we do and thought, maybe we can make it a bit more current, and did some work on it. Then he came across and did it. John came across and did vocals. Then we wrote a string arrangement between us. And gradually put all the instruments on. Paul Smith came in and put drums on it, etc., etc. So, and in fact, I think even the bass part, I think I'm playing some of the bass part, and James is playing some of the other part of the bass part. It's quite interesting. You can hear the joints, but not in the original track. Might be interesting if you listen to the original track and you figure out who played what. There's a challenge for you. So I've had lots of guesses as to what the quiz question is. Which is very good. We like that. So I'm going to stick that back up on the screen there, just so you can see it. Here we go. Make it a little bigger. What was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? What was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? So there we are. That's kind of up for grabs. See if anyone can get that right. Yeah. Okay, this is all good. I think we are going to go and play you, and then I will nip across and try and answer some of the questions. I'll just have to flip back and see if there's anything I need to answer. We're going to play the original version of "Don't Look Back," and this was produced by Trevor Horn, but this is just a film of it I found on the internet that I thought was quite interesting. So here we go. It's a bit sloppy.
Down on love, I can hardly say I'm down on love. I've monopolized your life too long. I know that certainly something's gone wrong. Times are tough. I can hardly say that times are tough, but all around us friends are so confused. When you have so much to give and nothing to lose. Don't look back, walk away, burn the past, live today. People change, who cares why? Don't grow old, never die. Celebration, being alive is cause for celebration. But I'm obliged to say I feel so sad. That was the optimist, supposedly mad. I know you'll be alright. Don't you worry, cause I know you'll be alright. There's one thing you must believe. I love you. Here alone tonight. I really do. Oh, don't look back. Walk away. Burn the past. Live today. People change. Who cares why? Don't grow old. Never die. Walk away. Burn the past. Live today. People change. Who cares why? Don't grow old. Never die. Don't look back. Walk away. Burn the past. Live today. People change. Who cares why? Don't grow old. Never die.
So I've no idea if that footage was from the original program or not. I've no idea where that was from. It could have been. It could have been. Maybe someone somewhere can tell us whether it was or not. But it was obviously translated into Portuguese. So something to do with Brazil anyway. So that was good. Lovely. That was Trevor Horn. I mean, at the time, Trevor Horn, I think he was producing ABC and Dollar. He hadn't yet, I think, done the Frankie Goes to Hollywood and stuff. So his production was, although it was big and a little flamboyant, he hadn't quite achieved the pinnacle of what he would do later, and certainly way before things like Slave to the Rhythm. But still, undeniably, a good production. But I know when James was talking about it to me, about working with Trevor Horn, he felt that James himself hadn't let Trevor have his own way as much as he perhaps should have done. Knowing that everything that Trevor Horn had done, he said to me, "I should have just said, Trevor, just do whatever you think." But I think he was stuck with how the original demo sounded, so there was a few things that he kind of couldn't let go from what that original sounded like. So that's a kind of interesting little story there. Talking about people who kind of, I had an American guy with me, a great guy called Richard Ganaway, who does a lot of world music stuff and a lot of charity work around the world, and he was working with some Welsh children. And we were talking about the famous guitarist Steve Lukather, who was Toto's guitarist, but he played like every guitar solo you've almost ever heard. Back on the Road by Earth, Wind and Fire, Lionel Richie, All Night Long, Running with the Night, Physical, Olivia Newton-John. He just did a million solos that you would know because he was a session player. But he's Toto's guitarist, Steve Lukather. And he's actually a massive Beatles fan. But he was the first session that he did with, in fact, the only session he did with George Martin in America. He didn't know who George Martin was. And George Martin put the charts in front of everyone. And Steve Lukather said to him, "Do we really have to play all this English crap?" And not knowing who George Martin was. Needless to say, he never worked for George Martin again. And he said, "I just kicked myself. The stuff that you say when you're young and when you don't know, you don't know anything, but you're bullshit. All those things. We can all learn lessons from stories like that." That's quite funny because Steve Lukather was a massive Beatles fan, massive George Martin fan, and just didn't know who he was. So yeah, he regrets saying that probably for the rest of his life. Too late now, isn't it? So there we are. People sometimes they kind of say, how do you decide which songs go on an album, etc., etc. Is there a fight? Is it like everyone trying to jostle for position? Like in The Police, for instance, anyone who brought a song in, Sting would gradually just get rid of any song that wasn't his. So they ended up just all being Sting songs, even though other people had contributed things. Well, I've got to say that the Korgis is nothing like that. It's not. In fact, it's probably the complete opposite of that. I mean, James is always saying to me, we should do some of your songs and put them on a new Korgis album. And I'm going, no, they're not Korgis songs. They're my songs, much as they'd be fine, I don't think that they're really Korgi songs, and we can co-write. We can co-write till the cows come home. If we needed an album in 2 months, we could write it from scratch and release it. I'm sure we could, because we're pretty prolific, the both of us. And John, of course, chips in as well. John's done a load of writing on the last album, so he's got into that kind of mentality as well. So we could easily just chop something out really quickly, but we're not going to do something really quickly. We're going to do it with care, great care and attention, and it's going to be amazing. We've got Cartoon World to live up to, so it has to be at least as amazing as that. There's the challenge, isn't it? But talking about my songs, I have a lot of songs lying around that I have never put on an album. I mean, I've got an album that I released a few years ago called Coming Up From Down Under, but I'm going to play a song now that is nothing to do with that. This is a song that I actually started to write when I was 14 years old. And I always kind of really liked it. I rewrote some of the lyrics later on, but essentially you'll get the idea. And there's some early pictures of me in school, which looks like a blacked out tooth. So I've got a cap there on a tooth. So at this point, I didn't have a cap. I had half a tooth, all right? So the pictures are pretty grainy, so it doesn't look too grim. But here we are. I'm going to play you Moonshine. Let's make sure I got this right. If I can find it. Oh, yeah, here we are. It's coming. Oh, this is from the Upstairs at Shabbey Road series, because this was recorded live. Yeah.
moonshine, it tastes the same. It's been a long time. One careless day at summer's end, you came in from the rain. And lately, I feel the shadows growing stronger. I know it won't be long till I see your face again. Lately, I've lost track of when I should be sleeping, 'cause I don't say goodnight until the sun is in the sky. Midnight, don't inquire at how I'm keeping. I'm just busy trying to figure how the days are passing me by. Moonshine, you taste the same as I come home now, all done with that summer's tale and things that might have been. I sit now, sane and certain of the moment, how low I must be going, though I sure would like to stay. Lately, I've lost track when I should be sleeping, 'cause I don't say goodnight until the sun is in the sky. Midnight, don't inquire how I'm keeping. Just busy trying to figure how the days have passed me by. Still busy trying to figure how the days have passed me by.
Yeah, so that was from a little series of sessions that we do every now and called Upstairs at Shabbey Road, and I think we did about another 3 or 4 songs on that particular day. You'll notice Paul Smith was on drums, and my assistant who works for me here at the studio, Rob Sherwood, who's a multi-instrumentalist who plays everything, was on bass on that particular song. But there are certain songs that he might play guitar, I might play bass, or he can play keyboards as well. So we kind of just swap about and fill in whatever we need to. I can't remember what other songs we did on that particular session, but yeah, maybe, you know, who knows. There, actually, on YouTube, there is a whole Upstairs at Shabbey Road series, so everything we've done up there, you can have a little look at. So some of my songs, some of the band Roosevelt that I work with, that I'm a keyboard player, because a lot of people don't know I play keyboards, but actually it was the first instrument I played, and then I later taught myself to play guitar. But it must be said, I'm probably a better guitar player than I am a keyboard player, but I do enjoy it. So yeah, you can find all of those Upstairs at Shabbey Road. Roosevelt, the band that I work with. There's a whole load of Elaine Gilmore has got a little session that's up there as well. There's a few more of my songs. There's actually there's an alter ego of mine called Wolfman, where I do kind of really angular songs and a couple of Radiohead songs and stuff like that, done in different ways. So I might actually play one of them at some point, because that's pretty out there. But we did one of them live Upstairs at Shabbey Road, and that came out really well, but I turned it into a proper video. Oh, you might have been wondering, going, I can't see any string players in there. What happened is we played that as a 3-piece upstairs, and then the strings that I'd recorded on the original recording of it, I kind of time stretched and juggled in so that they fit. So yeah, that's a 3-piece and a string orchestra, which is very nice if you have one lying around. Unfortunately, I have all of these mates that come in and do stuff for me. I do pay them. But they come in and do stuff for me, and it's always grateful because they just really bring it all out. That's great. I think we're going to do a little bit of news. What news have we got today? What have I got written down here? Oh, yeah. A lot of people have said third verse of Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. Yeah, I'd love to have a go at that. What's the deadline? Well, at the moment, there isn't a deadline, because what I would like is I'd like to do a live stream where James is here, and we can actually, between us, we'll play through whatever it is that you've written. We'll play through these versions. We might even be able to get some up here. We might even put strings with it and all sorts. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Maybe the winner we'll maybe dub in instead of James's second verse on a version or something like that. That could be quite fun, couldn't it? And that would be, forever you would have your copy of the Korgis with James singing your verse. Ha ha! Yeah, that's an idea, isn't it? I reckon we could probably do that. If anyone fancies having a go at writing a third verse for Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime, it's a little fun competition, and it could be a fun thing to do. We'll do that live here in the studio. Japanese stuff. Okay, so it's all kicking off over there. As I said, our Twitter feed's gone bananas. But we are close to release dates for Cool Hits, Curiosities and Collaborations. We're also close to the release date for the new Japanese version of Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. And what I was going to show you here actually illustrates that a wee bit, because these are the proofs that they've sent me through. And if you look here, I will try and, can I just zero in on that? No, I might have to press some plus buttons. If you look at that track list down there on the right hand side, you will see there it says bonus track, Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime, Moe Hero featuring the Korgis. So that is the bonus track on the Japanese album out there. We weren't sure if it was going to be ready in time, but it is. This is the actual artwork that they've sent me through. So all looking very nice, but with all of those cut lines and everything like that. So that's kind of interesting. And also we have another little clip from that here as well. They've really gone to town. I've got to say they've done a great job, because they're doing liner notes and everything. They've got like a big booklet in this. If you look at this, now you won't be able to read much of it because most of it's in Japanese, but it has got English translations as well. So it's going to look something like this. You can see Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime there, English words, Japanese words. So all good. And I know, and I also know that Junichi, who we've been working with out there, trying to get the single release kind of put forward. It's been going on for a long, long time, but it's finally coming to fruition. And Junichi has been fantastic. A fantastic help to us out there. Sorry, I'm going to close all those tabs. Yeah, we can do that, can't we? And I know the night before they sent us through those proofs, he said to me, I am working hard on the liner notes. Now, his English wasn't great, but he said something like Japanese, like manic detail. So I assume he means that the Japanese like a lot of detail. And so he was working through the nights to get the liner notes ready in time. So many thanks to Junichi for all his help with this project, and also to Satoko at Hayabusa Landings, who are a record company out in Japan for this album. So many thanks for the many months of negotiation to kind of try and get this through, and all their words of encouragement. So that'll be very nice. So that isn't necessarily the only Japanese news. We haven't got a final answer on this as yet, but we are negotiating to do a couple of dates in Japan in January. We can't have the dates. I think it's January the 9th and 10th is where we're hoping to do it. They're a little bit distraught that we're a 9-piece touring band, that there's an awful lot of people. There's a lot of people to put up. There's a lot of flights to buy. So we're still trying to figure all of that out. But we may have to do a little fundraiser for that. But it may just take the form of pre-orders for the Cool Hits album in its various guises, whether it's your regular CD, your box set, whether it's your t-shirt, or any combination of any of the others. However, we are formulating a plan If someone really wants to get involved, then we're talking about maybe doing a sponsorship thing where we do t-shirts and you get your name on a t-shirt. You know, if you sponsor enough, you get your name big on a t-shirt, etc. So there's a few different packages out there. And there's even a little move to say, like, if you really fancy pushing the boat out and giving us a big sponsorship, we will come and play for you. We'll play for you at your house if you want. The whole damn band, that is, as long as you've got a room big enough to do it. Okay, so look out for those. We don't want to step on the toes of the Japanese release itself, and until that's released, we probably won't go ahead with that. But we might put some of the other sponsorship options up before we do the pre-release of Kool Hits album. So yeah, that's all good, isn't it? The whole Japanese field of it. And Mauro, I'm hoping we can do the same with Brazil, that when we look at single release out there, that we can go, oh, okay, can we put some dates together in Brazil? So we'll see how that all goes. And that's it. Okay, so other big news, and I think I'm just going to put this up on the screen, and you can go, oh, what's that all about then? So here we go. This is going to go up on the screen, and that says the Korgis with orchestra, playing all the hits and much more as a double bill on October the 23rd. A double bill with the Mike Smith Big Swing Band. Now, you might know that I run the Mike Smith Big Swing Band, and when we do concerts, we add strings to it, etc. So we do have a proper orchestra. And the mighty Paul Smith is our drummer in there. Nigel Hart is the keyboard player. I'm the guitarist MD for it. So there's a good few Korgis already there. So we hit upon the idea of, wouldn't it be great to do the Korgis with an orchestra? It'll require quite a bit of writing as far as I'm concerned, and working out as far as everyone else is concerned. But it'll be an awful lot of fun to do. So October the 23rd, I think I said before, put October the 23rd in your diaries. But that is why it's going to be in Trowbridge. That is going to be in Trowbridge. So not a million miles away from Bath, not a million miles away from Bristol. It isn't too far from the south coast, really. It isn't that far from anything west of London, really. If you can come out to that, that would be a really great night. And it's only very occasionally, I think, that we're going to put these on. I mean, I'd like to think we could do one a year would be brilliant, and go, oh, okay, what songs are we going to do? What are we going to do with orchestra this year? What could we do? But I think that's going to be an awful lot of fun, and I'm greatly looking forward to doing that. So it'll be fantastic. And I think we are just about winding up. So I think we might come to our competition question. Let me just have a quick deco at these things coming through here in case there's anything. What did Moe do, and what the Korgis arranging keyboards, etc. Okay, and so Wagner Mercado, I'm not sure where you're from, but welcome to the live stream. I don't think I've seen your name before here, but I might be wrong. So you've written me out the lyrics for Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime on there, which is great, but I think we know them. What we're after is a new third verse. So get your thinking cap on, Wagner, and write us a new third verse for that. That would be really great. Okay, so Ingo, you're asking what did Moe do and what the Korgis arranging keyboards, etc. The way that it worked is Junichi came to us and he said, look, I've got this project that's been taken over by someone, etc. And what we would like is a backing track of Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. And I think they might have been thinking of just, the regular version of Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime to release it there. But we thought, well, that's a bit tame. When we looked at who Moe was, she's a young girl, probably 20, 22, something like that. I'm not quite sure, but she was in a girl group called XO Extreme. No, that is definitely not how you pronounce it, because I can't do it. XO Extreme. So they were a 5-piece girl group, and she was a member of that, but she's a solo artist as well. And they said, so we want to release it for her. So we got thinking, well, can we come up with something that's completely different And we did. We wanted to make it sound a little bit younger, a little bit more out there, not quite the same. So I think James and I mainly worked on that arrangement of it over a couple of sessions. Let's really put it together, thinking outside the box, always with the intention of sending it across to him, going, do you like it? Is this good? And then Moe put her vocal on it and bounce it back to us so that we could go, okay, now we could add these backing vocals, we put these, or James could sing that on top of it, which is exactly what we did. The process probably took 8 or 9 months overall. But I think in terms of playing, James played some of it, I played some of it. I can't actually remember. Sometimes he's on a keyboard, sometimes I'm trying to think if there's any guitars on it. Do you know what? I don't think there's any guitars on it. It's all kind of programmed. I'm not even sure there's any real bass on it. I think it was all kind of played with synths. Interesting though. Yeah, a very interesting version. And we're going to hang fire. Might play a little bit more of it next week or something like that, but I don't want to preempt the release of it. So we want to hype up the release of that song. So Moe did the vocals across there. They bounced it back to us, and then actually we asked them, do you want us to do the final master of it, or would you like it to do it yourselves there? And they said, you do the final master. And they came back immediately and said, this is the best version of Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime we've ever heard, which was very nice of them. Not sure if it's true, but we certainly like it a lot, and it's a breath of fresh air. So yeah, that's what happened with it. There we go. Okay, no more questions. So I am going to answer the quiz question. Yes, I am. I'm going to just close some of this stuff down. Yeah, and go back and find the quiz. Here we go. It's going back up on screen now. What was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? What was the name of the Brazilian soap that featured Don't Look Back? And no surprise that Mauro would have got this, because it probably isn't general knowledge out there. I'm going to actually look at my thing. I cannot speak Portuguese, so my pronunciation of this is going to be bad. Brazilian soap opera Sol de Verão, or Verão, well, I don't know. Sol de Verão. Anyway, Elaine Brokenshaw, you were very close to it. I think you were close enough that you got it in 2 answers somewhere anyway. So I think the prize definitely has to go to you. But also, Mara, I think the prize has to go to you as well, because you were obviously spot on. You were, that's what it is. So that's brilliant. I mean, my other question was that video that I put up with Don't Look Back earlier, were they scenes from it or not? Were they part of that soap, or did someone just found some TV and put it on top of that? Don't know. I'd love to know the answer to that question. You know, that would be good. So I know at least what video I'm playing to people. So there we are. Congrats, Elaine Brokenshaw. Congrats, Mauro. Both of you. I'm going to send you off a CD. Mauro, I think I've got your address, but I'm not sure. If I haven't, can you send it through to the website on the Ask Us Something or something like that? That would be great. Fantastic. So I can get that stuff in the post to you. And that'd be brilliant. And it only probably is left to say that over the last couple of weeks, I've been slaving over a new video for the new version of Don't Look Back. So I am going to play you that as a little play out here. Excuse me. So I'm going to play you that as a little play out here. And we hope to see you all again next week. As always, I'm going to leave the live stream running for 5 minutes afterwards, in case there's any questions that I didn't get to, or in case there's anything else that anyone wants to ask now or tell us. But here we are. I am going to leave you with Don't Look Back, the brand new video. And here... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I left you up on the wrong screen there, hadn't I, for ages. Very sorry. So in person, I am going to say... Thank you very much for joining us. See you next week on the live stream. And now I'm going to leave you with the video for Don't Look Back. Here we go. Well, I hope I am anyway. I'll tell you what's happening. I'll put you back to me for a second. All of these videos, some of the things were done at home, and I double click on them and they go, oh, I haven't got that here. I'm just going to get it from the cloud and get it from home and put it back. And this one is still downloading. So it is at the moment just downloading from the net, and it looks like I'm downloading 2 of them at the same time, which is not very clever. But hopefully they're both going to arrive about the same time, and then I'm going to have to hastily switch one off.
Down on love.
There we go.
I can hardly say I'm down on luck. I've monopolized your life too long. I know that certainly something's gone wrong. Times are tough.